Hi everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome back. Today we are obviously starting the video in a random location here in the car. I'm right here in front of my office about to head in, and we're going to kind of do just a follow along with me in a workday day today because, as I mentioned in the last video, I'm having to kind of switch some stuff up and think about how I want to go into Q4 a little bit differently, and I'm going to be talking about the reasons behind that. It's actually going to be a little less of a whatnot heavy video, a little less educational, more just like day in the life, reseller, follow along, tips, reminders, motivation, just a little bit of insight and behind the scenes on what I'm doing in my reselling business. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely hang around. It's going to be maybe a little more vloggy style, but I just have a couple talking points I want to hit and just like discuss with you guys. These may be some pain points you're having within your business already. They may be things that you've had and struggled with in the past and you can relate to, or maybe problems you haven't quite come across yet, but you may one day. And this is kind of how I'm handling it and how I'm perceiving it and looking at it within my business model. So whether you've been reselling for just a little bit or you've been doing this for a long time, I really think this video can still be helpful if you like these types of videos. So I'm going to stick you guys down here for a second just so I can kind of talk, because I do want to like set the scene and kind of explain what's happening as like the basis of this day, and then we will go inside and start working. So essentially, one of the issues I'm coming into, it's a two-parter issue. I am still having very consistent issues with my local sourcing. I have to do such a route in order to get so many like quality books. I can get a lot of books, but they're not quality books. And what I'm struggling with still is my local Goodwill outlet just not being consistent in general. Apparently at the end of the year, once the general manager retires and the new system is officially put into place, we are supposed to see some crazy changes. I don't see that happening, to be quite frank. But books are always like the last totem pole of like the last on the totem pole of priority. So again, today, like I went in, like yesterday, they didn't bring them out right away. We waited like 45 minutes or so. I'm just killing time. 45 minutes of my morning, maybe even an hour of my morning, just standing around knowing they're bringing them out. I just don't know exactly when. They finally bring them out and they were absolute garbage. I picked up, I think, 4 books yesterday, 4 or 5 books. Like they're still in the back of my car in one of these bags. Today, go in, books are out. It's the same books from yesterday. It's very frustrating. It's a very frustrating experience. And if you've watched some of my old videos, I'll try to tag one. I'll pin one up here on a card, which is like Goodwill's Destroying My Business, is like a series I made. I made like 3 videos about that. And it was just all about how Goodwill's like doing these things that are annoying to me and how I need to go upstream, which is just going to leeway into what my largest level of goal is right now, which is doing my free book pickup service again. I usually ran it mostly off of Facebook, and I needed to get re-verified on Facebook, so I actually just put in my verification. It says it'll take 2 days, and hopefully I can get that post back up, as well as some other marketing and advertising I want to do to really just promote that in my local area. I used to do a ton of free book pickups, and they just have stopped. Getting that free book pickup service is definitely going to be helpful, as well as some other things that I need to do in order to get more inventory sources that are not so reliant on the Goodwill, right? So that's part 1. And then part 2, on the inverse of kind of like this effect from it too, is that not having such good books and having to kind of, I don't know, I'm doing a lot more quantity over quality. So I am doing a lot more work, it feels like, for kind of the same amount of money as I usually would have to make off of the better books. What's happening is Whatnot is really slow right now. I don't know for those of you guys that are sellers full-time on Whatnot, part-time, or just getting started, but if you're experiencing any slowdown, let me know in the comments, because I feel like I'm crazy, but I've talked to a few other sellers in the book category in particularly, and they have all expressed the same concern. There is a huge influx of booksellers, and it's probably a lot my fault for giving everyone the word here on YouTube, but I don't feel bad about that. I want people to have other forms of income, and I want them to know about really cool platforms and apps to get really great deals on. It's like thrifting online is how I would describe it. So if you're not part of the Whatnot like community yet, if you've never joined, there is always a link in my description. You can join and get a free $15 credit to use with any shop and any seller. That link's in the description. And if you're interested in becoming a seller, I also have a seller link there as well. But it is a great platform, so I love to be able to share this information, but it's just a double-edged sword right now. I feel like there's a lot of sellers, a lot of new people, and the other day I was ending my show, there was 32 shows on, and like 10 of them only had like 2, 3, 4 people in them. So it's just this like large spread of just a few people. Probably another 10 shows had like 10 to 20 people in it. Not even, I would say like 8 to 15 maybe. And then there was like 2 or 3 shows that had like 40 or 50 people in it, right? It's hard, it's tough, it's rough out there. And I used to be on Whatnot from the very beginning. I've been a bookseller on Whatnot from the very beginning. And I would do shows and I would be the only seller on, or there would be 1 or 2 other booksellers on. And that's just how it used to be. And obviously, even if I'm feeling the pain and the squeeze of it all, I know that there's going to be some other people out there feeling it. And so if you are thinking about getting started on Whatnot in the book category, I can only speak for the book category, just know there may be some days where your competition is going to be a little bit higher. There's going to be a lot of sellers on. And so monitoring, seeing maybe if there's a time slot during the week that you notice, okay, this week and last week, there wasn't really a lot of people on at this time. I'll schedule my show for this time next week, and then give that time and day a chance, because that's genuinely like my biggest tip for trying to squeeze your way into the market and, you know, building an audience on the platform. So with that said, this video is not going to be like hate or any sort of shade towards Whatnot. I will not do that. As much as the platform has its faults, there are so many. It is my main source of income, and that's not changing. However, with all of that said, what we're going to be walking inside to basically do is eBay work. So I have so many boxes of free book pickup donations. So I will try to insert the footage from another video, because I can't even get back to the ones that I have, because I have so much more in the first room that I can't even get back to the last one. So I'll try to put footage of that, but there's like 50 boxes, well, maybe like 40 boxes of banker boxes full of books that I need to go through. And then in the room in front of that is probably another 25 bankers boxes from the same donation. Then I have the big bulk buyout I did from the storage unit. Again, I'll try to insert a clip here. This is a image, whatever. I haven't shared either of these pickups with you guys. You haven't seen footage from that free book pickup that was 3 trips to get all those banker boxes, and you haven't seen the footage from the storage unit buyout because I haven't really gone through them. So that's what I'm going through right now. And so if you've heard me say, or you hear me say, you're like, where are you? What's going on? It's because I've got such a mission of like what I know I need to do in order to, by the end of December, going into January, really by the end of January, I need to have processed all of those bankers boxes and both of those buyouts, because I physically don't have the space or really the time or energy or really capital right now to buy any more bulk buyouts. And so that's not a good place to be. So if I don't have the space to put them, I can't buy them. If it's a small buyout at a good price, I can do it, but I got to work through that. So that's basically what I'm going to be working on. And I will show you guys, I guess, that footage of me buying that and kind of really going through that in another video. That'll be its own video of me, like, I have footage of me picking it up and processing it and the starting processes of that. All right, so with all of that said, I think that that does a pretty good job of explaining, like, in my business wise, what I'm doing. I am kind of like anti-goodwill right now. I'm pro, and I'm pro getting back on Facebook Marketplace, which is a whole wild thing. And if you guys want to learn about Facebook marketplace selling, or you have questions about it, or you want to share your experiences or talk about it, comment below, because that's how I started reselling, was on Facebook Marketplace. So I have a ton of experience on the platform. I had an entire drop shipping business on Facebook Marketplace. I was very successful on Facebook. It's how I literally got to have an office and to where I am now. It was great. And then I hated it because the people are so annoying. I'm sorry. I'm a Facebook user, but my gosh, Facebook Marketplace is brutal. Facebook in general is such a freaking brutal platform. But the money's there. The money's there, and I have inventory that I cannot move on Whatnot or eBay that sells super well on Facebook, and I've got to get it listed because I need space. I'm struggling with space. I might give you guys like a 1-second glimpse of what it looks like in that room. It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So yeah, I gotta get some space down. So that's the goal. I'm gonna take you guys in with me, and we're gonna just talk a little bit more. I want to highlight really why this is so important in reselling in general. When we're gonna talk about pivoting, because pivoting is a big word that we've used in our YouTube videos since I've started in the reselling space on YouTube. Pivoting, my gosh, we have pivoted so much. So all right, let's go ahead and go inside and get the day actually started. All right. So for those of you guys that are like long-term time watchers or viewers, like from Whatnot, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about here. But like, these are my shelves, right? Young adult and adult's been fairly full, but it's oddly full. Like, I don't understand why I have so many of these thriller books, and honestly, quite a few of these. Like, I don't know, I guess, who knows? Sometimes books sit and then they all sell and it's wild, but it's like full empty over here, right? That's not really the problem. The problem is this. This is my like backup inventory. This is just what I kind of am working my way through. And I'm sure that like kind of looks like a good bit of inventory, and it is. It's enough to do a show, but it's not quality, it's quantity, okay? So I'm not having an issue picking up quantities of books. I can find tons of books that have value, but that if they're not paired with books that have more like stronger value, it can be a little tougher to sell. So just a little tip here. We'll start off with a tip. When you are thinking about getting started selling on a live selling platform like Whatnot, you need to not only have a constant influx of inventory, like you always have to have access to good inventory, but you need to always make sure that you're sprinkling in and sourcing and sprinkling in really high quality items, things that are really desirable and will attract your audience, as well as the quantity of other choices. Because for me, speaking personally, I'm sure a lot of you can resonate, as a shopper on Whatnot, I want to buy maybe one or two specific items from a seller, but then since I'm already paying the shipping for it, I would like to maybe add a few other things and make it a larger purchase. I never really love buying one or two books from a seller. I really want to buy like 10 or 15 books. Like I want to buy a bunch. And so if I can get a good deal and buy, 10 books and my shipping's like $10, that's a really good deal for me. With that said, I like to do that for my buyers. I want to give them something to draw them in, to be like, okay, I'm here for that. Like there's 15 books to choose from. If I can get one or two of them, I'd be happy. And then out of all the other books, I'll take a handful of those as well. People have kids, people have other purposes for buying books outside of just themselves reading. So remember, I'm selling kids books, young adult, educational, nonfiction, all of it, okay? So with all of that said, that is what brings me to the kind of pivoting point here. When you're having little hiccups in your business and things aren't flowing the way that they normally do, even whether it's inconvenient or not, like I just got back from vacation, I really needed last week to be a little bit more income heavy than it was, but it's just a good reminder that that's just how it goes sometimes. And I forget that myself sometimes. So when that happens, we have to like pivot quickly. You can't wallow in it, right? So I'm pivoting quickly, and today we're going to focus on going through those books that I know have value, that I can get listed on eBay. I will share some of those values with you here, even though a lot of it is going to be more so in that other video where I actually talk about the process of this free book pickup, processing it, and how much value I was able to get from it. But I also have some eBay listings that I want to do, which I actually talked about in the last video that I have not listed yet. I haven't done any eBay listings for the whole month of October, I think. Let me double check. Let's see. No. I haven't done any eBay listings, but I've sold over $100 on eBay, but I haven't done any actual listings for eBay. I've listed a good bit for Whatnot, which I also still have a ton to list for Whatnot, but no new listings, but I still have sold a good bit of items. So that's always promising. Like that's good, but that is why we put different eggs in different baskets, guys. This was my speech. This is what I spoke about at the Books and Beyond conference. I want people to understand that just focusing completely on Amazon, on Whatnot, on eBay, it ebbs and flows. Even eBay ebbs and flows. These businesses are not stable. Reselling platforms in general are highly unstable. And I think that's why you see so many people putting so many eggs in baskets. As resellers, we tend to do that. Like, that's kind of innate for us. I feel like it's like, well, I'm going to sell on Poshmark and Mercari, and then I'm also going to try out Whatnot, but I do have an eBay store, and I have a small Etsy store, and I also market on Pinterest, and then I sell a little bit on my Instagram. And there's more. There's so many platforms that you can sell on, and that's okay. We have cross-listing services. People are good at keeping their inventory straight, and there are sellers who sell every day on every single platform. Maybe a sale or two here, sale or two there, maybe no sales on one platform, but 5 on another. And that's really cool. That's not my style. I like really having it more niched down than that. So mine are Whatnot, eBay, and sellback services. Those are my 3 main sources. Well, they're not my main sources of income. I do have obviously content creation income and just other ways that I make money as well. But my main 3 reselling incomes for like books, I would say, is Whatnot, eBay, and sellback services. With that said, we're going to pop Facebook into the mix. I'm going to get back on Facebook. I'm going to get back to just kind of playing around in those waters. I just have too many types of items that would sell really, really well on there. So that's the plan with that. Guys, I don't even really want to show you this, but this is the real side of my business and a lot of people's businesses. This is my storage area. I've got 2 rooms over here strictly for storage and 1 set up for my live shows with my stuffed animals toys, right? And that's still very much set up. But this is why sometimes I don't even do those shows, because this is all new inventory. All of this is new inventory. All this is new like stuffed animal toy inventory. It just kind of lands here. But what I'm also inundated with is giant bins, these 4 red bins, and all of this, which was the last book buyout I did, which is what I think is going to be really good. This has a lot of like occult, spiritual, holistic type books. And then, like I was saying, this was the one before that. This was from the storage unit, which is a lot. It looks like a lot less than it is. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35-ish boxes or so right there. And then if you can even really see over there, those are the banker boxes kind of lined up. But and I have more in the back. So I think because I can't really get to those without having to navigate all through this tiny little space that I can barely fit in, I think what I'm going to do is actually start with this. And this is smarter for me anyway, because this is going to be for Whatnot. So most of the books that are in this buyout will be Whatnot books, and I can really gauge how much I have. And I think there will also be some eBay books in here for sure. So this is like a better starting point, I think. So it's going to be basically all of these boxes, and all of this is what I'm going to go through. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just kind of take like a box at a time over into my office next door, sit on the ground, and kind of sort through it. I'll pop in here and there with some highlights or maybe honorable mentions, or kind of show you how I'm organizing it. So if you ever do have a book buyout or a free book donation or whatever it might be, this would be a really good way to kind of go through it if you are interested in book selling. I will say this is, I don't know what's in here. I know what's vaguely in here, but not really. So it's all going to be kind of a mystery and a surprise to me, which is kind of fun. So I'm going to look at it as a fun little adventure. But yeah, I'll go ahead and check in with you guys once I have some updates. Just a little bit into this first box, and I have some mass markets that aren't typically mass markets I would pick up, but I'm going to go through. I've got a little pile barcode up for scanning for buyback services. I have a little like discard slash it's nothing pile. So far I've gotten some little stickers, whatever these little are, like pliers. I don't know, some plier things, lots of crafting things. I had to share this with you guys. This is a rubber band packet that I've melted, probably melted and reformed and melted and reformed so much over the years. It's hilarious. And just other like random things, but some cool stuff. Like there's some Twilight bookmarks and things. So there's some other cool things in here, but yeah, I did find so far. This is our first like good find, which is books 1 through 5 of this Sweep series by Kate Tierman. That's a good find. Really love coming across books like this because it just reminds you that sometimes you need to look up really niche things. There's a lot of historical fiction books that really aren't worth a ton. There's a lot of battles, wars, and things like that that are documented, but niche topics are always worth a look up. And this is just also a beautiful like book here. Encyclopedia of Rawhide and Leather Binding. Looked it up, and I think it was about 20 listed, 16 sold, if I remember correctly. So great sell through, and I'll throw a comp up here on the screen. Great visual encyclopedia book, and this is something a lot of people would just look right over. Guys, I just struck gold. Oh my gosh, the white pages, not the white pages. I have not seen a white page book in like a decade, probably. When was this even like, are we still making these? 2010 to 2011. Oh my gosh. All right, made my way through the first banker's box, and there were some awesome Robert Jordan books in there, but they all have crazy rips, tears, damage all over them. So those are going to end up going to my book sale. So far, still kind of have these general piles. Got one more box here, and that's what we like to see. Just some nice vintage Winnie the Pooh right on top. So this looks like it's going to be some vintagey style books. Definitely some fun little vintage books over here. Nothing super crazy, but definitely going into my whatnot pile. And then I did come across some actual mass market Robert Jordans. This one obviously is going to need to be trashed. It's just not even going to try to keep that one. Maybe a few others in here, but I think the rest look decent enough. So that's exciting. And then again, just some more books over here. These would normally be great books, these Cassandra Clare books, but they all have really extreme foxing all around them. So those are going to also go to the book sale. So all right, that was our first 3 boxes done. This is going to be kind of my running trash pile. There's just a lot of like trash and personal stuff in there from the person who owned all these books. Let's go grab some more boxes. Went through 3 bags of these mass market books. I've got, there's some mass market, some regular, but most of it's mass market in that one and this one. And they're all just pretty bad damaged. I did pick out a few that I feel like were savable and were worth saving, which are like these just like vampire romance type books. But some of these, like, I mean, this Nora Roberts, I'm going to stick these in my book sale though. I'm not going to recycle them because I think that there is still some value. Some people don't mind this. Clearly this girl didn't mind this. She had all of these books, and I'm sure some of the wear came from the storage in the unit. However, I have a strong feeling that some of these books already had some wear and tear, and she was okay with it. And I've had people buy from me that are very okay with that kind of generic wear. So these are going to go in the book sale. All right, so this box is actually one of the reasons why I bought the whole bundle, is because there was this box and I think maybe 1 or 2 others that are supposed to be full of these like pagan books, witchy, occult style books. And I am pretty excited to go through here and see what's in here, because some of these books can be really, really valuable, not just through like eBay, but through Whatnot as well. I do really well on my, I call them witchy shows, where I just do like witchy, occult, spiritual type books. So work my way through here. I'll let you guys know if I find anything really good. That was so fast for one. I think that took me like 5 minutes. These are going to be the ones I feel like have more value to them, more than like $5, $6, $7. These are going to be like $10 and up books likely. I could list them on eBay, but they probably, these are not, none of these so far are going to get listed on eBay. I didn't find a single book that needs to go on eBay. Everything here can go on Whatnot, and I'll price these accordingly. And then these ones were also still good, but these were closer to like the $4, $5, $6 range in value. And then over here are a bunch of these almanacs, which are dated in like the years past. Some go back to like the early 2000s, I feel like, but these do sell still. These will probably be just like $3 books. They have a lot of really tangible, practical, like practical magic for everyday living. It's exactly what it is. It doesn't really matter the year. You can use it regardless. But first box down with pagan books. Very, very excited. I think literally these 3 stacks of books right here, I could probably make all my money back in everything that I purchased in this bundle. So just so far in that, I'm pretty happy. Just pulled in probably the heaviest bin out of all the bins. I remember this one being really heavy, and it is just also chock full, supposedly, of Wicca books. I don't know what's down here at the bottom, but we'll start digging through. So I figured I would go ahead and show you guys kind of how I'm actually looking up these books. So I've got a little stack here and kind of show you my method. It's pretty quick. So I switch over here to where it says barcode, and I just scan. I take an initial look to see if there's anything listed. So we can see there's a few listed pretty low, nothing crazy. And then I'll just usually kind of toggle over to solds really fast just to see kind of what that sell through is looking like. And Here we go. All right. So same thing here. I don't even need to go to the solds on that one. Sold items. Yeah, so that one sells pretty well. Decent. That'll go over here. So I'm making kind of like not so great, definitely better piles here. Again, some of these you can just look right at the sold comps and kind of see. This one needs to be typed in. And again, same here. So you're kind of seeing right off the bat those, geez, oh me, I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. Some good sold comps on that one. And I've sold this book probably 3 times before. This is a great book. It sells really well. So that one doesn't even have any sold comps. You can also see like there's 42 items listed. Some of these I don't need to know what the sell through is. I kind of know it'll sell. It's a popular enough book that someone will want it, but it doesn't really have much data on it. No solds on that one either. No solds on that one. So hopefully you guys can kind of see it's pretty simple. I'm literally just using the barcode to scan it and then scrolling down to where it says sold items, just so I can kind of see what the value is, what the sell-throughs look like, and then just placing them accordingly. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of this box. But you can see, I mean, that's pretty quick to go through like what, 10 books here. So not too bad. All right, I got one to mention here for you guys. So this is Autumn Equinox, which is obviously seasonal for right now. But I want to show you what the comps are looking like on this one. I thought it was pretty funny. So give it a little scan. There are 7 listed. You can see here at the top, we've got one with a bid, $25. And then all of the other listings are absolutely ridiculous. $200, I think, being the cheapest other listing. So if we actually go on over to the sold comps here, there are 3 sold comps, and you can see this is the 3 solds. So obviously the one for $25 is selling. I'm going to probably go ahead and list this one today, because why not? If the lowest sold comp is $200, and I'll probably list it at $25, $30, just because it is seasonal. Like, we're coming out of the autumn equinox. Like, we're going into the winter eventually here in the next month or so. So I'll probably list it maybe as a buy it now for like $29.99, see if it sells. I'll probably end up getting an offer on it, I would imagine. And we'll see. Maybe I'll list it a little higher. I mean, again, lowest comp is $200, but I thought that was a fun one. That was a really good tote. I will say all of this is going to go be recycled. This is all like just dated, like drug prescription books, theory of practice. I mean, they're just like kind of dated books. There's nothing really of value in here, and or they're like damaged. But I got this really cool set, this Griffin and Sabine trilogy. I'd never heard of this, but the cover is so cool. The box set is cool. Pop up a little comp here. Looks like that'll do pretty good. I got these H.P. Lovecraft books, which were awesome, as well as a couple other kind of Wicca style books, again, alternative medicines and so on. And then a good bit of these mass markets. They're like Stephen Donaldson, Christina Dodd, some Anne Rice, just some more vampire type stuff. So that was pretty good. But yeah, we're doing good. I think I'm going to be able to go through one more box, and then I'm going to have to call it for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our last box for us to go through. There is 2 more after that. So I will say that I'm pretty excited that I got through pretty much one whole pickup of books. I like to process the pickups in like order, or like in bundles, because I want to be able to know my return, right? So for me, I'm not really worried about any of these like little mass markets and stuff. I'm making all of my money back on all of the Wicca style books. That's easy money, which you can see I actually put all down here. On the very bottom of the shelf is the Wicca, and then right here on this middle shelf is the Wicca. So just like this little area, and then that whole bottom shelf right there. So it's a lot of books. It was well over 50, 60, probably 70 plus books. So pretty excited on that. And yeah, all right, let's go ahead and grab that last box, and I will let you know what I find, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up together. So it looks like this whole bin, I took a few layer of books off the top, but it looks like pretty much everything is just stacked with mass markets. So I'm going to, I guess, just pull these out really quickly, a few at a time, just to see. Like, I just kind of want to like look like this. Yeah, I think they're all like witchy fantasy stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not going to go through it right now because I need to finish up talking to you guys and I need to get going so I can actually get this video edited. So I'm going to go through this probably tomorrow, but it's looking really promising and I still have 2 more of these red totes to go through. So overall, what we've pretty much come up with is all of this is like Whatnot type stuff over here. This is to be scanned, which I'm shocked that this pile is so much smaller than it is. This is for book sale, recycling, and then we did all those Wicca books. And then I have a couple other things up there that I came across as well. All right, I'm just going to set you guys up on some books real quick and we'll wrap up. So basically, pivoting has been such a large part of my business, and this is just another example of how within reselling, pivoting is just super important. Anytime something's happening and it's not going your way, you need to do a pivot, right? So for me, I don't know if I've mentioned this already in the video. So basically one of the big reasons what's happening right now is I've actually canceled both of my shows this week, my Tuesday and my Saturday show. My Saturday show was canceled because I have an event on Saturday. Friday's Halloween. I don't want to do the show on Friday. And then Thursday historically are not good days for me. So I don't really want to push the show to Thursday. So I was like, I'm just going to cancel the Saturday show. And then I thought about it on Monday and I was like, you know what? I think I should just cancel my Tuesday show too. It's been slow. It's oversaturated. I don't have great inventory. I just don't think it's worth my time to go live. And it's so much more worth my time to be doing all of this. I don't have to worry about shipping out orders, prepping for a show, shipping out orders, and doing all of that. I'm able to just focus on this like mostly eBay heavy side of stuff. Clearly I'm coming across a lot of Whatnot items, but I mean, right there, these 2 books, I mean, this could be, I would say at least $50 to $60 between just these 2 books. And I have boxes upon boxes upon boxes with books like this in it. So I can't justify right now being so Whatnot heavy. So that's the benefit of having my eggs in different baskets. I know how to do eBay and I know what to look for eBay. I know how to do sellback services and to gather books for that as well. I actually have 3 pending orders for sellback services. I want to add a few more items to them, but they're all between like $50 to $150 in order value right now. So, you know, focusing and doubling down on some of these other things is really important. Hopefully in the next day or 2, I get my official like seller verification approved on Facebook so I can actually start listing again. And I'm going to, you know, do some listings on Facebook. So I'm really excited actually about this pivot. Normally I get frustrated, but because I have so much inventory, I'm not mad that the Goodwill's sucking right now or that cherry picking isn't my favorite. Even days like today with the rain, I would normally drive down to Virginia Beach and try to go sourcing down there because it is always great sourcing down there. But I can't drive every day, you know, 45 minutes one way, 45 minutes one way back. I can't spend an hour and a half every day just driving to go source. It's not feasible. So that's where we're at. While there is no hate towards Whatnot, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to sell on Whatnot. It doesn't mean that Whatnot won't be my main income source. But if I could personally get my income to be more 75% Whatnot and then 25% other platforms, I would be really happy with that. I think personally also having so much equity in Whatnot and so much of my business in Whatnot is dangerous and risky in itself. And there are a lot of things the platform does that I don't agree with. There's a lot of ways that they have grown that I do not agree with. And so I have qualms with them and I don't want to make my business so reliant on them. So not that if I got banned or something happened and Whatnot disappeared today, I wouldn't be able to still make income. I think I would actually probably make more money if I'm being honest. If I had to focus on other forms of income, I might make more. I don't know. I'm saying that because the amount of money that I can make when I actually focus and start listing on things like eBay is really high. There's months I have been tracking all of my sales for the whole year on Whatnot and on eBay. I want to know how many listings am I doing and what are my sales, you know, right? And there are months where I'm just kind of like, damn, how did I sell that much? Like I've listed 25 items and would do over $1,000 in sales. And I'm just like, okay, that's kind of crazy. So I just kind of like, I like the idea that there is so much of a buyer base, there's so much stability, and there's so much certainty on eBay and even with the sellbacks. I'm getting a quote, I'm sending it in, and very, very rarely am I being told, hey, that book didn't qualify, there was excessive damage, or we're going to adjust your quote. Very rarely. So I'm getting these like very stable sources of income where when I go live, I know roughly how much I should be making on any given show based on what I have. I know roughly, and I'm really good at estimating. Very rarely am I that off where I'm like, oh, I'm going to make, you know, $800 in this show and I make $450. That happens sometimes, but it is very, very rare. Most of the time I'm like, I should be making $1,000 in this show and I'm making $1,000 or $950 or something, right? It's very close. So that is something that is good to have. However, when I'm having moments where I say, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to make $300 this show and I make $150, that's a problem. And it was happening enough of a time. Saturday was a great example of that. I didn't have great inventory, but I had enough good inventory, and I was a little shocked that I did as much as I did. And I looked back, and a lot of the purchases were from my Buy It Now, which is great. It's a great additional way to have sales in your show, to have items that are listed that people can buy at any time. But it was like, what was the total on Saturday? Oh, I can't see. Oh no, I didn't total it. That was last week. I didn't total it yet. I can't see what the total is yet because I actually haven't done that show, but it was well over $75 to $100 was just from the Buy It Now. So I was like, damn, okay, that's good, but also not what you want to see. I should have made more in my actual auction. So with all of that said, I feel like there's some things I'm missing. I'm not going to lie. I got a little bit of a brain fog after going through all of this stuff. So I know I'm probably missing something that I might have mentioned at the beginning of the video. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them in the chat below. I will keep you guys updated each week with new videos, as I said. However, I just don't know what my content's going to look like right now. I still want to make videos regarding whatnot and educational content. And I hope that you found this educational or in some way impactful for you in your reselling business. But I'm going to be really taking content creation as like what's happening in my life right now. What can I talk about? What can I share? As opposed to like, let me shove a bunch of information down your throat, because I think I've done a lot of that and I think other people are doing it. And not that I'm mad or salty or at all upset that there are people selling on Whatnot now, whether it's from my videos or other creators or just from discovering the platform. I just feel as though it's not in my best interest or best for my energy to really push Whatnot right now when I don't know if Whatnot is even good for new sellers right now. It feels a little tight. It feels like it's a holiday. It feels like it's Q4, but it's also not. It just feels like there's some push and pull. And, you know, not to get political in any capacity, but just to point out, I have a psychology degree. That is my way of thinking. I want to know why something's happening. So when I think about the holiday, right, all that's good and well. Think about people just naturally having a little less money to spend. However, SNAP benefits are about to end in next week, and that's going to affect people. People are going to have to be taking money that they would normally be putting towards bills or whatever the case might be, and actually having to buy groceries. I know, controversial idea. It's crazy. Again, no politics here. I don't even want to hear about it or talk about it. It is not anything I care about talking about here on my channel, but I'm just saying things like that affect people, affect other things outside of the people not getting the benefits. Something like that could drastically affect my business. So I don't know, but I'm just trying to like put the variables together and think about what are all the outside forces driving towards slower business on my channel, my platform, my whatever it is that I'm doing. So just throwing that out there, just kind of sharing my like where I'm at right now, as I kind of alluded to in the last video. And if you like this video, please hit a thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button. I don't really care. I like to know what you guys want to see. Comment below, let me know what you're going through, if you are experiencing any of these pains, if you enjoyed some of the comping and showing you some of the books I'm going through side of things. I feel like I did that last week and I kind of did that this week unintentionally. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys some updates on the current state of my business and where I'm at and what I'm doing. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you next week. Bye.